Okay, now we discuss the psyopses that you find in religious text and scripture. One that really stands out is, I think it was Joshua at the walls of Jericho. This was a psyop where people prayed for an extra day and the sun stood still. We, as scientists, are proving that consciousness can affect nature. The double slit experiment proves it. And there's some people, if you go on YouTube, that did experiments where they talked to plants and rice and things like that. And if you talk to something a good way, it grows good. If you talk to it a bad way, it grows bad. And there's many examples, where meditation was used to prove that randomness can be skewed by just focusing on an event. When I say event, I mean physical object in time, or actual combination of objects relative to each other in time, especially relative in a temporal domain. An event, you know what an event is. So anyway, you have Joshua at the walls of Jericho. He's out there. He wants to take down the city. It's heavily fortified, and they start going around it and they're meditating on something. These are secrets that the Jews had, and they caused the walls to fall down. That's also a psyops. So science is actually proving that consciousness is a powerful thing. And again, this is another rebuttal to atheists who say that religion is nonsense. There are important techniques in religion that we can't ignore. If you think about something in a good way, it will behave in a good way. Where I say good is a subjectively defined concept. What is good to you will happen. If you think of something in a bad way, then what is bad to you will happen. So we know that consciousness affects nature. So it's important to actually read scripture for these examples. But also I'm beyond scripture, so I look at examples in my life, things which I've done just coincidentally and accidentally that were talked about in scripture that actually do happen naturally. So I am a religious and atheist, but I do what works. And another important experiment that I was thinking could be done is if you conduct the double slit experiment and you ask people who meditate to concentrate on stopping the scattering without you having looked at it, as you would to stop the scattering, the diffraction from taking place, where you just ask them to concentrate without you having an observer there on the actual machine that's producing the particle, to stop the scattering part, the diffraction pattern from happening. If that works, then consciousness can alter natural phenomena and events. But then you have to figure out what the thresholds are. Like, for example, the 100th monkey experiment, a whale transmitting data to the other side of the world. You get 100 people to know something, and everyone in the world will know it, including your people, wherever they are. So these are methods that we developed, but the need for a higher deity, a deity that we can't see, define, or whatever, is part of the actual methodology. It's part of the reason why it works. So what was it? So we got to try and not look at religion with ridicule, and look at it in such a way that we can look at it in a way that we're looking to learn from it rather than ridicule it. Because there's important things there. There's important things that science won't be able to stop some of the catastrophes that are coming on Earth. But deep prayer meditation might be something that can, if we perfect it. If we perfect it, yeah? Of course, we'll need people for that. So even our lifestyle choices should promote, yeah, the multiplication of people. You shouldn't try and depopulate the world, because consciousness, yeah, you shouldn't attack consciousness by depopulating. You should try and do anything other than attack consciousness in that way. Leave it up to the Almighty, yeah. And you have to learn how to do things. You can't just pray for anything, because if you get rid of randomness here, it appears somewhere else. So you have to be conscious of all this. And this is where Jesus Christ, which is the one you call Christ, comes into it. He's the one who knows how to pray for things in such a way that you don't cause karma to come back in a negative way. Yeah, there's strategy to this. You have to be someone who's pure in heart. So you you need the religion and the religious method and message, yeah, to understand how to use your consciousness, yeah, in a positive way, where positive and negative is subjectively defined, yeah. In the end, I think to save the earth, it would be the power of prayer.